Hi, today I will also start with 3 topic related facts, and some of them might be just made up and some of them are definitely true. You will find out which one is which at the end of the video. First one, the longest breath hold recorded is 22 minutes and 37 seconds. Second, there are people who can, with their breathing and certain breathing methods, control and trigger their immune system consciously. And third one, it is not lack of oxygen which makes you to take the breath in when you are holding your breath. It's actually too much CO2 buildup. Now let's go to the serious stuff. People generally tend to think that breath practice or breathing techniques are mostly for people who do yoga or some kind of spiritual and meditation practice. In a better case, they assume it's for professional athletes who can be using some kind of training to enhance their performance. However, you have probably noticed that you are breathing a lot, and doing it the right way with the right intention might not be the worst idea ever. My name is Paolo, and this is not episode about breathing you could expect. Breathing is extremely complex and deep topic, but I will go past the basic physiology and we'll focus on the practical part of it, the influencing of the nervous system. Practical understanding how you can read your own state, I mean state of mind, how you can regulate your mood, and also, and this is always and always have been the most fascinating part for me, you can learn how to read other people's mental state just based on observing how they are breathing. There is a lot of directions and a lot of methods in the breathing. Wim Hof, Buteyko method, box breathing, all types of breathing for yoga, or oxygen advantage. This is about none of that. We are not going to be talking about methods, we are going to be talking about principles. However, I might now and then refer to specific system just as a reference of where this particular thing is applied. As I said, there is many methods, but only very few principles. And it all comes down to nervous system regulation. Every inhale and every exhale have their meaning. Literally every breath is sending certain signal to the brain. And I'm not talking about the cliche just breathe deeply and calm down. In the whole history of calming down, nobody ever calmed down after being told to calm down. I'm talking about complex system. First thing to always consider is what we are breathing for. On our daily functioning, in our daily activity, we want to breathe through our nose. Nose is for breathing and mouth is for eating. Breathing through the nose is our parasympathetic calm state. If we are forced to breathe through the mouth, that might be already showing that something is not in this calm state and we are pushed into certain intensity, whether it's in the training or it might be just a stressful situation that is throwing us off this natural calm state. And same way as this signal is coming in, we can also send signal through the nose breathing to calm down. It's always two-way street. Our body, our system, our nervous system is communicating through signals, and this signal can be something's going on and suddenly we feel that it's impossible to keep nose breathing unless we will intentionally focus on it, and then through forcing ourselves to do the nose breathing, we can push the system back into more calm state. If the situation is so intense that it's not possible, we still have an option to do inhale through the nose and exhale through our mouth. And when we do exhale through our mouth, it should be through perched lips, because we have parasympathetic receptors in our lips, and by pushing air through them, we are stimulating this system and we are sending signal to be calm. Lips have a lot of neural connections, and also that's how you can calm a baby, if you very gently rubbing their lips. That's why also kissing feels so good, because we are stimulating this area in a very gentle way, and that leads to a very nice and calm state. If we are breathing through the mouth and especially if we are breathing shallow and fast through the mouth, that is automatically triggering a sympathetic reaction. If you will hyperventilate, breathe very fast pace through your mouth, within a couple of minutes, you can get either very dizzy or you can even make yourself to go into a panic attack. This is how strongly the breathing is influencing the whole system. And as we have the parasympathetic calming receptors in our lips, we also have sympathetic receptors in the back of our throat. If animals are growling on each other, they go with this deep vibrating sound through the back of their throat, and we can actually do the same. If we want to be activated for whatever reason, I for example use it with clients if they need to do really high effort, whether it's a high box jump or some heavy lift, and I see they need a little extra kick, I make them ground and yell from the back of the throat, and it really strongly activates the sympathetic system. That vibration in the vocal cords is just a primal starter for strong action. You can also notice that it is very hard to have a heated argument with somebody if you are whispering. So considering mouth and nose breathing is one aspect. We also need to consider our inhale and exhale, as they are literally a rhythm of the life. Inhale is more triggering and stimulating sympathetic part of our autonomous nervous system, and exhale is stimulating parasympathetic. And this is not just some voodoo stuff, there is actual science behind it. And if you are measuring somebody's heart rate and heart rate variability as they are breathing, there is literally a waves going, and every inhale is going more towards sympathetic and increasing the heart rate slightly, and exhale is going towards parasympathetic activity and temporarily decreasing the heart rate. And these waves are literally happening with every hour breath. When people are extremely upset or they have a panic attack, they are stuck in their inhale. They have hard time exhaling. And if you are not exhaling, there is no way you can push new air in. So it's just a loop where you try to inhale, but the capacity is not there. When our grandmas were telling us just deep breaths when you want to calm down, that's not actually right. That is not really working. What you need is a focus on the exhale. Have you ever seen in American movies when somebody is in a very stress mode, usually some lady who, for example, lost her child, and they give her a paper bag over mouth to breathe into it? It's because she is naturally hyperventilating. And as she is exhaling into that bag, the air she is breathing back in has more CO2 than the air around, because she already exhaled the CO2 into the bag. So she's not getting over-oxygenated, and that's why it works. And the same way it also works if you focus on the exhale, because the inhale will happen naturally. So short, sharp inhale and long, slow exhale. This is also pretty tied into belly and chest breathing. In yoga, there is many ways and methods of breathing towards different parts of the body, from head, upper chest, lower chest, belly, all the way to genitals. But for our sake, breathing to the belly is more calming, and breathing to the chest is more activating. When you see somebody really aggravated or in panic mode, so whether it's fight or flight, you can see them breathing very shallow, very fast, usually through the mouth and up to the chest. That is showing that they are really losing control. This is leading us to very interesting part, and that is ability to observe and assess other people's state based on breathing. If we observe rhythm of breathing on some people, we can notice that they make a pause, and the pause is either after inhale or after exhale. If you see pause happening after both, you either missed where the pause is more significant, or that person just has a fairly balanced breathing pattern with just a little bit longer pause after inhale and exhale as their natural rhythm. However, If there is a significant pause after inhale, it signifies in that moment the person is leaning towards sympathetic flight state. It is natural because our alertness, our activation is there, up on the chest after the inhale. If the pause is after exhale, it might be showing a tendency towards parasympathetic freeze mode, which is showing us passivity, sadness, and nihilism. And as all this is nice, cool, and fascinating, what do we do with it? Well, as always, it starts with awareness. So start noticing how you breathe, start noticing how other people are breathing. Is it nose, mouth? Where is the emphasis? Is it on the inhale, exhale? Are you making some pause? Which situations tend to change your breathing? And when you catch this moment, amazing. Now you can step into the process and start to push it in the way you want to go. Remember, it's a two-way street. As much as body is communicating to you what is going on through pushing you towards certain breathing, you can also take control and with conscious breathing change where you will steer this focus. Focus on exhale and push the air through the lips if you need to calm down. Or when you are stressed or you need to focus on some kind of important task and you need your sharp mind. Short, sharp inhale and long, slow exhale. If for some reason you need to be more activated before a lift or even before some cognitive performance, you are about to give a lecture, or you just need to pump your mind a little bit and get into more activated state, use a grunt and a vibration on the back of your throat. It can be weird and maybe not suitable for all social occasions, and many people find it very strange, but who cares? It works. And you can definitely find a way how to do it. Now, when we talk about the nervous system regulation, whether it's from the perspective of nutrition, breathing, or all the other possible perspectives, it is always about awareness and application. But that doesn't mean that breathing through the mouth is wrong or breathing through the nose is the only option. It just means that they have their place and they have their purpose. Just using the wrong one in the wrong moment is a problem. Regarding training and athletic performance, I did a full video about when to inhale, when to exhale, and how to approach training in this regard. So I'm not going to spend time on that, but I want to give you one more piece of something very specific and maybe we can even say a little bit controversial. And that is breath hold training. I believe it comes from Oxygen Advantage, and you can see professional athletes getting into this system more and more recently. For example, Czech one and only Jiří Procházka. He is using this to build world-class cardio for his upcoming UFC title fight. And this is not a promotion, it's just a fact. He is using it, I'm using it as well, and this is how it works. The whole point is to build tolerance for a CO2, carbon dioxide, buildup in our body. Because our urge to breathe when we are lacking air, it's not coming from lack of oxygen, it is coming from too much CO2 being built up in our system. And if we can build capacity to tolerate it more, we can push more in higher intensities without need to stop or slow down. So the whole point is that you do your effort, which is fairly short and really intense, without any air intake. So you breathe normally, and then after exhaling, you do your effort, whether it's a sprint, whether it's a bike, assault bike, or whatever kind of effort that can be. However, you need to be really mindful of for how long you go, because with a really high intensity, if you're getting close to 5, 7, or even 10 seconds, if you are starting with this, that can be a very big problem. So you do a very short and intense effort, holding your breath after the exhale. People like Jiří tape their mouth and also pinch their nose, so if there is urge, they don't breathe. Eventually, you have your recovery period where you breathe in, you calm down, and you do this repeatedly. I personally was doing it on EMOM style, so every minute on the minute, I did some sprint on either bike or assault bike for 5-7 seconds, as much as I was able to, and then to the end of the minute, the end of the interval, I was breathing through my nose. And I was repeating this for 7, 8, up to 10 or 15 rounds, depends on how short or long the breath hold intervals were. I wanted to share this, but I really don't recommend doing this without any supervision or without anybody who already has experience with this kind of training, because it can go very wrong very fast. However, if you do it and if you do it correctly, the benefits are insane. This really is world-class cardio what you can build with this. And as I covered this one extreme, I will also cover the opposite extreme, and that is coherent breathing. It's one of the breathing methods for calming down, and for me it's probably one of the best ones, because you're attuning to your body in a completely different level. Standardly, coherent breathing is about same duration of the inhale and same duration of the exhale for about 5 to 6 seconds with no pause in between. And when I want to calm down and just chill, and I know I have many running thoughts and I want to calm down and really trigger that parasympathetic response, I also put my hand on the heart and I'm trying to feel my heartbeat and match the beats with the breathing. This stimulates the vagus nerve and it can get you into alpha or even theta brain waves, which is a deeper meditation, very quickly, as you are attuning the electromagnetic field of your heart with your brain. That's why it's called coherent, because you are getting into this coherence of brain, heart, and connecting it with your breath. I also did a video and breakdown of the brain waves functions in the ice bath video, and I'll put the link under this one. So remember, nose is for daily functioning, mouth only if you need to. If you focus on inhale, it's more activating. If you focus on exhale, it's more calming. And the rest is just matter of experimentation and ability and will to push the limits. Thank you for watching. My name is Paolo. Now, towards the 3 facts from the beginning, the first one was actually not true. It was a little trick. The actual breath hold was 24 minutes and 37 seconds, and it was done with a pre-breathing of pure oxygen. So the guy prepared for it by breathing pure oxygen before he did this world record, which I'm not taking anything from him. However, a normal or standard extreme length, as this is a pretty strong oxymoron, is around 11 to 12 minutes if there is no help, and this is what deep divers can do naturally without any enhanced methods. Second one, Wim Hof, the Iceman, he proved that he can, through intense breathing and certain practice, trigger his immune system reaction, and he went into a controlled, very important to say, controlled trial study where he was injected by endotoxin from E. coli bacteria, and he got no symptoms, what normally he would be supposed to get, and he just practically eliminated it. And because he wanted to prove that it is not just him being a freak, they gave him a couple of days and a couple of people, and he taught them how to do it. I think it was within 2 or 3 days, and they had the same result as him, by which he proved that pretty much anybody can do it. And the last one is also true. That was already kind of answered in the video. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are working on a pretty tight balance in the body. And our need to breathe right after a breath hold is given by CO2 buildup, not by lack of oxygen, which if you will be doing the breath hold training that I was mentioning, at the end, when you really think that you need to take the inhale, try to just push one more exhale, even though you think there is nothing there. If you'll be able to get that, you will buy yourself another 2 or 3 seconds. But as I said, be careful with that, and well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments or suggestions, please reach out directly to me or comment under the video. See you next time.